PlayStation, released by Sony in 1994 in Japan and 1995 in America, became one of the most iconic gaming consoles of all time. It boasted a vast and diverse library of games that popularized 3D gaming and established Sony as a major player in the gaming industry. I got my PS1 in September of 1998 for my birthday, and needless to say, it quickly became my main console to game on at the time, and to this day has some of my favorite games ever. This was a difficult list to cut down to 10. Some real gems had to be left out, but without further ado, here are my top 10 PS1 games of all time. The version of this game that I played was Second Evolution, which was the remaster on the PSP, so I'm cheating a little bit by putting this here, but I don't care. It's too good not to go on the list. Star Ocean: The Second Story offers a rich and immersive narrative, featuring dual protagonists and multiple story paths. Players can choose to start as either Claude C. Kenny or Rena Lanford. Claude is a young ensign in the Earth Federation, and Rena is a girl from the underdeveloped planet Expel with mysterious powers. The choice of protagonist significantly alters the perspective and details of the story. The plot is a blend of science fiction and fantasy elements, following the protagonists as they battle against a powerful interstellar threat. The game also boasts a large cast of recruitable characters, each with their own backstory, skills, and personalities. This adds depth to the narrative and provides various party configurations for players to experiment with. The game uses a real-time action combat system where players control one character while AI controls the others. Battles are dynamic, requiring both strategy and reflexes to effectively manage attacks, special abilities, and character positioning.
Hit it! Twist there!
One of the standout features is the extensive skill and item creation system. Characters can learn a wide array of skills, from combat techniques to crafting abilities like cooking, alchemy, and blacksmithing. These skills are essential for creating powerful equipment and items, adding a deep layer of strategy and customization. For its time, Star Ocean: The Second Story boasted impressive 2D sprites combined with 3D backgrounds. The art style is colorful and detailed, creating a visually appealing world. The character designs and animations are quite charming, and if you play the PSP version, you're treated to newly animated cutscenes.
78781. Opening gate.
What? No!
The music, composed by the famed Motoi Sakuraba, is a standout feature, offering a memorable and varied score that enhances the game's atmosphere. From peaceful town themes to intense battle tracks, the soundtrack complements the game's narrative and setting beautifully. Star Ocean: The Second Story was a landmark title in the RPG genre, combining an engaging story, complex gameplay mechanics, and a richly detailed world. Its blend of science fiction and fantasy, coupled with deep character customization and a memorable soundtrack, make it a timeless classic that remains beloved by fans to this day.
Hey! Okay!
I'm cheating again putting this here, as I actually played the Sega Saturn version, but let's be real, this game deserves to be here. Castlevania Symphony of the Night was released for the PS1 in 1997 by Konami. This game quite literally redefined the platform adventure genre and set a new standard for non-linear gameplay, commonly referred to as the Metroidvania style. The game follows Alucard, the son of Dracula, as he explores his father's castle to uncover and defeat the evil forces within. The narrative is rich with gothic horror elements, and the story unfolds through interactions with various characters, with bountiful voice acting adding depth and intrigue. The game's plot also ties into previous Castlevania titles, providing a sense of continuity for longtime fans of the series.
Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
Symphony of the Night is notable for its non-linear exploration and RPG elements, a departure from the more straightforward platforming of its predecessors. The game features a massive interconnected world filled with secrets, hidden rooms, and numerous areas to discover. Players are encouraged to backtrack to previous inaccessible areas once new abilities are acquired. Alucard can gain experience points, level up, and collect a variety of weapons, armor, and items. This RPG system adds a layer of depth to character progression. Combat is fluid and responsive, with a variety of enemies and bosses that require different strategies. Alucard's diverse arsenal, including swords, shields, and magic spells, allows for varied combat styles. Alucard can also transform into different forms, such as the Bat, the Wolf, or Mist, each granting unique abilities that aid in exploration and combat. The game's presentation is exceptional, with detailed 2D sprites and beautifully animated backgrounds that create a rich, atmospheric world. The art style perfectly complements the gothic horror theme. Composed by Michiru Yamane, the soundtrack is widely considered a masterpiece, blending orchestral, rock, and electronic music to create some unforgettable tracks. Sound effects are crisp and impactful, adding to the immersion, and the voice acting adds personality to the characters and contributes to the overall narrative, while at times being utterly hilarious.
Death in the dream world will set your soul wandering for eternity, demon.
Wait! I beg of you!
Castlevania Symphony of the Night is a landmark title that has left an indelible mark on the gaming industry. It has influenced countless games in the Metroidvania genre and remains a benchmark for quality in game design. Its blend of exploration, RPG mechanics, and atmospheric presentation make it a timeless classic.
She said, "Do not hate humans. If you cannot live with them, then at least do them no harm, for theirs is already a hard lot." Suikoden 2 was released by Konami in 1999 and is often hailed as one of the greatest RPGs of its era. Set in the fictional land of Dunnan, the story follows the hero Ryo and his best friend Joey as they are thrust into a civil war that tears the country apart. Themes of friendship, betrayal, and the heavy burdens of leadership are explored in depth. The story is emotionally charged and filled with memorable moments that leave a lasting impact. Suikoden 2 maintains the tremendous gameplay mechanics of its predecessor, offering a rich and engaging experience. One of Suikoden's unique features is the ability to recruit up to 108 characters, known as the Stars of Destiny. Each character has their own background, and most can participate in battles with their own skills and abilities. Battles are turn-based, featuring a party of 6 characters. The combat system is straightforward but offers depth through the use of runes and character combinations for special attacks. In addition to standard combat, the game includes large-scale strategic battles where players command entire armies. These battles add variety and require careful planning and strategy. Lastly, you got the one-on-one duels where players must read their opponent's moves and respond appropriately in a rock-paper-scissors-like mechanic. These duels are often tied to critical story moments and add to the game's dramatic tension. As players recruit more characters, they can develop their own castle, which serves as the game's hub. The castle evolves over time, offering new facilities, mini-games, and story events. Graphically, the game features 2D sprites and detailed backgrounds. While it doesn't exactly push the limits of the PS1's capabilities, the art style is vibrant and expressive, giving the game a timeless quality. Composed mainly by Miki Hagashino, the soundtrack is exceptional, with themes that range from hauntingly beautiful to exhilarating. The music perfectly complements the game's emotional and narrative aspects. However, the game unfortunately does not feature voice acting, which was typical for many RPGs of the time. Suikoden 2 is critically acclaimed, particularly for its story, character depth, and innovative gameplay. It's one of the most expensive PS1 games due to its initial limited print run and has since become a cult classic. Suikoden 2 stands out as a masterpiece of the RPG genre. Its compelling story, rich character development, and varied gameplay mechanics create an unforgettable experience. Grandia, developed by Game Arts and released in 1999, remains a beloved classic in the JRPG genre, known for its engaging story, memorable characters, and innovative gameplay mechanics. The game follows Justin, a young aspiring adventurer, and his friends as they embark on a journey to discover ancient civilizations and unravel the mysteries of the world. The narrative is filled with moments of humor, friendship, and personal growth, supported by well-written dialogue and character development. Each party member has their own backstory and motivations, and all make unique contributions when it comes to combat. Grandia introduced innovative combat mechanics that set it apart from other JRPGs of its era. The most notable feature is its unique real-time battle system, where characters and enemies move along a timeline that determines when actions can be taken. This system allows for strategic planning, including interrupting enemy actions and coordinating party member attacks for combo moves.
Oh, wind, blow them away!
Exploration is also rewarding, with dungeons that encourage thorough exploration for hidden treasures and secrets. The graphics of Grandia are charmingly nostalgic, characterized by colorful 2D sprites set against pre-rendered 3D backgrounds. Grandia originally released on the Sega Saturn 2 years prior, so while not cutting edge, the art style has aged well, exuding a whimsical and adventurous atmosphere that enhances the storytelling. The audio, composed by Noriyuki Iwadare, is considered a highlight of the game. The soundtrack blends adventurous orchestral pieces with catchy melodies that evoke the spirit of exploration and discovery. Voice acting, although limited, adds personality to the key moments and enhances the emotional impact of the story.
Welcome home, Fina. Boy, I missed you. How you been?
I'm doing great.
Grandia offers a lengthy adventure with a satisfying progression curve and side quests that encourage exploration beyond the main storyline. While not overly difficult, except for the main boss, the game's depth and charm make it enjoyable for both casual players and JRPG enthusiasts. Grandia for the PS1 is a classic example of a JRPG that combines a compelling storyline, innovative gameplay mechanics, and memorable characters into a cohesive and enjoyable experience. Its blend of exploration, strategic combat, and heartfelt storytelling continues to resonate with fans of the genre even years after release. Grandia remains a gem worth revisiting or discovering for the first time.
I'm so glad, Lee. I can't believe it. Miracles do happen.
Since I know I'm going to get comments about this one, yes, I do like Suikoden 1 more than Suikoden 2. Mainly due to the story. I liked the story of Suikoden 1 a lot better, and the rest of the game is largely the same, so it's enough for me to put it above the sequel, in my opinion. Like its sequel, Suikoden is set in a fantasy world with a rich political landscape. The story follows a young hero, Tyr McDowell, who becomes embroiled in a rebellion against a corrupt empire. The narrative is inspired by the Chinese classic Water Margin, and it revolves around themes of loyalty, betrayal, and the fight for freedom. This story is one of, if not the best, that I've experienced in a game. Numerous twists and turns that keep the players engaged. The political intrigue, the personal journey of the protagonist, the depth of the narrative, the dark themes, it's got everything. The game features the usual 108 recruitable characters, each with their own backstory and personality. Many characters have unique abilities and roles in combat, and their stories often intertwine with the main plot in meaningful ways. Suikoden's turn-based combat is the same as the sequel, where players can form a party of up to 6 and engage in combat that is intuitive and engaging, with a good balance of simplicity and depth. And you also have the strategic battles and the one-on-one duels here as well. The game also has multiple endings, and the vast number of recruitable characters encourages replayability. For a game released in 1995, Suikoden features charming 2D sprites and detailed backgrounds. The art style is colorful and vibrant, capturing the essence of the fantasy setting. The soundtrack also has some absolute gems. Suikoden remains a beloved title among RPG fans, and its influence can be seen in many games that followed. Its combination of traditional RPG elements with a rich narrative and strategic gameplay cemented its place as a classic on the PS1. Street Fighter Alpha 3, released for PS1 in 1998, is a standout title in Capcom's long-running fighting game series. It built upon the foundation laid by its predecessors while introducing several new features and refinements. One of those new features is the variable system. Players can choose from 3 different fighting styles: Aism, Xism, and Vism, each offering unique abilities and mechanics. Aism features a standard 3-level super combo gauge, Xism simplifies combat with one powerful gauge and limited moves, and Vism allows for custom combos. Vism in particular was a style that could break the game. If you watched any competitive Alpha 3 at the time, every single pro was using Vism on every single character because of how broken it could be. The custom combos you could pull off were crazy. The game boasts a robust roster of 34 characters, including several series favorites and new additions such as Karen, who comes from the Sakura manga, and Cody, who comes from Final Fight. The large and diverse roster ensures a variety of playstyles and matchups, keeping the gameplay fresh and exciting. Street Fighter Alpha 3 features vibrant and detailed sprites. The art style is colorful and dynamic, with each character having distinct and memorable designs. The animations are super fluid, making the combat visually satisfying. The game's soundtrack and sound effects are quintessentially arcade-like, with energetic music and impactful sound. Street Fighter Alpha 3 offered a staggering amount of modes and content, especially for a fighting game. The arcade mode was the traditional mode where players fight through a series of opponents to reach a final boss and get a little bit of story out of each character. The World Tour mode was a unique mode where players travel the globe fighting different opponents, and you actually earn experience points and get to upgrade your character. Versus mode, as always, allows for multiplayer battles against either another player or the CPU. Training mode, and then you had dramatic battle where you can team up with a friend for co-op fighting game action. The different ism systems, extensive character roster, and competitive multiplayer modes, World Tour mode, ensure that players have plenty of reasons to keep coming back. Street Fighter Alpha 3 is a high point in the series, offering a deep and satisfying fighting experience that appeals to both casual players and hardcore fighting game enthusiasts. It remains a beloved entry in the franchise, celebrated for its gameplay depth, character variety, and enduring appeal. It's a must-play for fans of the genre and a notable example of what makes the Street Fighter series so iconic. Resident Evil 2, developed by Capcom, was released for the PS1 in 1998. It is widely regarded as one of the best entries in the Resident Evil series and a seminal survival horror game. RE2 takes place 2 months after the events of the first game, set in Raccoon City, which has become overrun with zombies due to a viral outbreak. Players assume the roles of rookie police officer Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield, a college student searching for her brother Chris. The narrative has intertwining stories for both Leon and Claire. The game's atmosphere is tense and immersive, enhanced by the well-crafted environments and the constant sense of dread. Resident Evil 2 is a third-person survival horror that emphasizes exploration, puzzle solving, and resource management. The game's mechanics are well balanced, creating a challenging but fair experience. The puzzles are engaging and require thoughtful solutions. A lot of people aren't fans of the tank controls, and let's be honest, they're just not good. Tank controls they're just bad, and it's really the biggest negative and probably one of the only negatives to the early RE games. For its time, Resident Evil 2 was a graphical powerhouse on the PS1, featuring detailed pre-rendered backgrounds and 3D character models. The graphics create a realistic and haunting atmosphere with well-designed environments and enemy designs that are iconic and memorable. The sound design in RE2 is integral. The ambient sounds and music heighten the tension and immersion. The voice acting, while a bit campy, adds to the charm and character of the game.
Leon!
It's good to see you're still among the living. It looks like we're not gonna find your brother here after all.
Completing the game with one character unlocks a second scenario for the other character, and each scenario features different events and outcomes, adding to replayability and challenge. Resident Evil 2 is often cited as one of the greatest video games of all time and has influenced numerous survival horror games that followed. Its success led to a highly acclaimed remake in 2019, which brought modern graphics and gameplay improvements while retaining the original spirit. Resident Evil 2 is a must-play for fans of the survival horror genre and is a significant piece of gaming history. It combines a compelling narrative with engaging gameplay and an unforgettable atmosphere, making it a timeless classic.
Goodbye, Ada.
Final Fantasy IX, developed and published by Square, was released for the PS1 in 2000. The game is often celebrated for its return to the series' classic medieval fantasy roots and its rich storytelling. FF9 is set in the world of Gaia, a beautifully crafted fantasy realm divided into 4 continents. The story follows Zidane Tribal, a thief who becomes entangled in a plot involving princesses, powerful magic, and an ancient threat. The narrative is engaging and well-paced, with deep character development and memorable story arcs. The game features a diverse cast of characters, each with distinct personalities and abilities. Zidane, Garnet, Vivi, and Steiner make up the main cast, with each character receiving significant attention and growth throughout the story. Their interactions and relationships feel genuine and impactful. Final Fantasy IX employs the classic turn-based combat system with a few unique twists. The well-known active time battle, aka ATB system, is a dynamic combat system where characters act based on a filling gauge. The trance system, where characters enter a powered-up state under certain conditions, allowing for special abilities. And the ability system, where characters learn abilities by equipping items and earning ability points, aka AP, in battle. The combat is strategic and satisfying, with a well-implemented ability system that encourages experimentation. For a PS1 game, FF9 boasts impressive visuals with detailed pre-rendered backgrounds and expressive character models. The art direction is superb, with beautifully designed environments and character animations. The full-motion video cutscenes are particularly stunning and add to the cinematic feel of the game. The soundtrack, composed by the famed Nobuo Uematsu, is one of the game's highlights. The music is diverse and memorable, perfectly complementing the game's atmosphere. FF9 offers considerable content through its minigames, hidden secrets, and side quests, which are numerous, including Chocobo Hot and Cold, Tetramaster, and various other activities that add depth to the world and characters. Final Fantasy IX is often regarded as one of the best entries in the series, beloved for its return to classic fantasy elements and deep character-driven story. It stands as a timeless classic, offering a nostalgic yet fresh experience that captures the essence of what makes the Final Fantasy series so beloved. Metal Gear Solid, developed by Konami and directed by the now well-known Hideo Kojima, was released for the PS1 in 1998. It is widely regarded as one of the most influential and critically acclaimed games of all time, revolutionizing the stealth genre and introducing players to a rich narrative experience. Metal Gear Solid is set on a remote island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago, where a nuclear weapons disposal facility has been taken over by a rogue special forces unit called Foxhound. Players control Solid Snake, a retired soldier brought back into action to neutralize the threat and rescue hostages. Metal Gear's story is complex to say the least, but I personally think that the story being told here through all the Metal Gear games is the greatest story ever told in gaming history, and it really started to get its legs with this title. The narrative is deeply engaging with intricate plot twists and memorable characters. The game's story explores themes of war, nuclear proliferation, and the ethics of genetic engineering. Metal Gear Solid emphasizes stealth over direct confrontation, encouraging players to avoid detection and use cunning to overcome obstacles. The stealth mechanics are innovative and well executed, providing a refreshing alternative to the typical action games of the era. Boss battles are creative and challenging, each requiring different tactics to defeat, and Kojima really had us scratching our heads with some of the weird stuff happening in this game. For its time, Metal Gear Solid pushed the PS1's hardware to its limits with detailed character models and atmospheric environments. The character animations and facial expressions, despite the hardware limitations, convey emotions effectively, although they haven't aged as well compared to later games. I for one would love to see a modern remaster of this game. The sound design in Metal Gear Solid is stellar, contributing significantly to the game's immersive experience. The soundtrack, composed mainly by Takanori Ishiyama, perfectly complements the game's tense and dramatic moments. The sound effects, such as footsteps and environmental noises, enhance the stealth experience. And the voice acting, led by David Hayter as Solid Snake, is exceptional and adds incredible depth to the characters.
Oh, I had to take out that helicopter.
Helicopter? That's incredible, Snake.
Listen, I just want to make sure again. This is the way to get to where Metal Gear is being stored?
The game has two endings based on one particular player choice, which does encourage multiple playthroughs. Unlockable items such as the stealth camouflage and bandana provide new ways to experience the game, and the VR missions mode offers additional challenges and content. Metal Gear Solid has left a lasting legacy, influencing countless games and solidifying Hideo Kojima's reputation as a master storyteller and game designer. It remains a must-play for fans of the stealth genre and anyone interested in the evolution of narrative-driven video games. Its impact on the gaming industry is undeniable, making it a timeless classic that continues to be celebrated by players and critics alike.
Snake! What was she fighting for? What am I fighting for? What are you fighting for?
If we make it through this, I'll tell you.
Final Fantasy VII, developed by Square, was released for the PlayStation 1 in 1997. This is not only my #1 game on the PlayStation, but it's my favorite game of all time, and is often hailed as one of the greatest and most influential video games ever, playing a crucial role in popularizing Japanese RPGs in the West. Final Fantasy VII is set in the dystopian world of Gaia, which is dominated by the Shinra Electric Power Company, a corporation exploiting the planet's life force known as Mako for energy. Players follow Cloud Strife, a former member of Shinra's elite soldier unit, who joins the eco-terrorist group Avalanche to fight against Shinra and eventually uncover a deeper, world-threatening conspiracy. The story is epic in scope, filled with memorable characters and emotional moments. Themes of environmentalism, mental struggles, identity, and loss are explored deeply. The game's narrative structure, with its mix of present events and character backstories, creates a rich and engaging experience. Final Fantasy VII's diverse cast of characters are well developed and integral to the story. The relationships and dynamics among the characters add depth to the narrative. Character development is tied to gameplay through unique abilities and limit breaks. FF7 uses a turn-based combat system with the active time battle mechanic. It also introduces the Materia system, allowing players to customize their characters' abilities. The Materia system offers deep customization and strategic options, with 5 main types that can be linked and combined for all different kinds of interesting effects. In my opinion, it's one of the more versatile combat systems in any RPG, and it still holds up to this day. And the limit breaks provide powerful and satisfying special attacks. Final Fantasy VII's pre-rendered backgrounds are detailed and atmospheric, enhancing the immersive experience, and the full-motion video cutscenes are particularly impressive and add a cinematic quality to the game. The sound design effectively complements the game's atmosphere and emotional moments, and the soundtrack, composed by Nobuo Uematsu, is absolutely iconic and probably one of the most recognizable OSTs in all of gaming. Final Fantasy VII offers substantial replay value due to its numerous optional quests, such as discovering hidden characters, completing the Gold Saucer minigames, and facing powerful optional bosses like Ruby and Emerald Weapon. The diverse amount of materia also encourages spending time hunting down those ultra-rare orbs. Final Fantasy VII left an indelible mark on the gaming industry, influencing countless RPGs and maintaining a dedicated fan base. Its success led to various spin-offs, a feature film, and a highly acclaimed remake released in 2020. Its blend of storytelling, gameplay, music, and all the other qualities that make it a timeless classic are what make it my favorite PS1 game of all time.